Hello guys, and welcome to today's video where we will be making our Premier League predictions. So let's get into today's video, but before we do so, please like and subscribe, and let's look at what I did last year. And this was the 21-22 predictions, and it wasn't so good. Yeah, so let's see if we can get better than that poor performance with 1 out of 20, alright. So let's get into today's video. 20th place, Bournemouth. Now, Scott Parker's men have got the worst squad in the Premier League, and the transfers have not been inspiring either. Ryan Fredericks come in, and while he's a good squad player, he is certainly not a marquee signing when you come up to the Premier League. That goes the same for Joe Rothwell, who came from Blackburn. Now, Nat Phillips is a good player, however, he is not one to keep you up, and just doesn't look like Bournemouth are going anywhere. Dom Solanke looks like he had a great season last year in the Championship, finally making good on that potential. However, it's unlikely he can replicate those numbers in the Premier League. Now, David Brooks is a good feel-good story, and I hope he does well in the Premier League, and I think he has the potential to drive Bournemouth forward, but it's inevitable for me. 19th position, Fulham. Now, Fulham are the ultimate yo-yo club, and, well, Marco Silva is their best manager in recent years. Alexander Mitrovic is a good goal scorer, and he had his best year last year. However, João Palhinha is a fantastic signing. It's one that really a lot of bigger clubs should have taken the opportunity to do, and Andreas Pereira is a good double pivot alongside him. Manos Solomon is a good signing from Shakhtar Donetsk, as well as Bernd Leno being a good goalkeeper as well. Now, Fulham have lost Fabio Carvalho, and that could be big, but however, if they can make some more good signings, I reckon Fulham could stay up this season. 18th position, Everton. Now, I reckon Frank Lampard is gone before Christmas for me, because I think that for Everton are just so unstable as a club. And, you know, their squad looks really bad after the departure of Richarlison. Richarlison realistically kept them up last season, and the transfers have not been inspiring whatsoever. Ruben Vinagre at left wing back, he's a good player, but realistically he's not enough to keep them up. And James Tarkowski, again, a good solid centre back, but isn't enough to keep them up. Dwight McNeil's a good player, and I like that transfer, however, it's not enough to keep them up. And I feel like Richarlison's output is just not matched within this squad, and I feel like the loss of that output makes them go down. 17th position, Forest. Now, Steve Cooper is a good manager in my opinion. I think he's done well in the transfer market so far. The signing of Taiwo Awoniyi could potentially become a club legend. Nico Williams at right wing back, as well as Omar Richards at the left side, could be pivotal. Moussa Niakate is a good, strong centre-back at centre-back, and Dean Henderson is a good goalkeeper, especially for a relegation side. Jesse Lingard could keep them up, and even though he is a bit overpriced, I think he could definitely keep them up. And I think as they have shown proactiveness in the market, I think they will stay up in 17th, making good additions at the right prices. 16th position, Brentford. Now, although Christian Eriksen's departure is a big blow, I do think they will hit some experience of second season syndrome. However, I think that Brentford have made some smart signings. Keane Lewis-Potter is exciting from Hull after a good season. Aaron Hickey could have the potential to become a really good player for Brentford. Thomas Strakosha is a good level goalkeeper for Brentford, and he could be very good. Ben Mee is good leadership at the back and could really be pivotal. And Thomas Frank is probably the best manager in this relegation fight ultimately, and I think that could, and as well as Ivan Toney's goals, I think that keeps Brentford up. 15th place, Leeds United. Now, Rafinha's departure is going to hurt them a lot, as well as Calvin Phillips. You know, that was a real big core of Leeds, but I think they've made some good signings, such as Brendan Aronson from RB Salzburg, which could be really exciting. Rasmus Christensen from RB Salzburg as well is a really good right back. Mark Rocker could be an underrated signing from Bayern Munich, and if they can keep Tyler Adams injury free, I reckon he could become one of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League. Luis Sinisterra has the potential to become a really exciting winger, and I think as long as Jesse Marsch gels these players in before the season starts, I think this could become a very, very good Leeds United team, and I reckon this team could be safe from relegation without any doubts. This is a solid prediction in my opinion. 14th, Southampton. Now, Southampton's recruitment recently has been very, very good, signing these undervalued players from big academies. Gavin Bazunu is a good example of this, signing him, and Southampton haven't had a good goalkeeper in a while. Romeo Lavia's highly rated among the Man City team, as well as Armel Bella Kotchap from VfL Bochum in Germany, who could become a very, very underrated signing. Sekou Mara is a very, very exciting signing from Bordeaux, as well as Joe Ariba, who's really underrated for Rangers for most of his time there. So I think this could be good for Southampton. 13th place, Crystal Palace. Patrick Vieira was fantastic last year. He got that young side performing to the best of their abilities. I reckon a similar place this season beckons for them. Cheikh Doucouré could be a good signing for them. I think he is a good young midfielder and he could really fit in with this young team already. Wilfried Zaha could be on his way out. However, if he stays, he is a fantastic player once again, like every other year he is. And Conor Gallagher's departure could prove really, really bad. However, I reckon Crystal Palace have got it in them to at least somewhat replace his goals. 12th place, Wolves. Now, Bruno Lage last season was quite good. He replaced an old team, replaced its playstyle, and really did well. However, up front, Raul Jimenez would be a bit of concern to the Wolves faithful. He hasn't been scoring recently, and that is a big concern. Now, Nathan Collins is a good signing, I think, a good level signing, and he will succeed at Wolves. However, Ruben Neves could be on his way out, and this could be quite bad for Wolves, considering that they need a new player here. As well as the fact that Chiquinho looks like quite an exciting winger, I think, as well as Pedro Neto will be fired up to trying to get into that Portugal side for the World Cup. So I think that could be a really big thing. 11th place, Brighton. Now, don't get me wrong, Graham Potter is a great manager. However, I think they will regress a little bit this season. Mark Cucurella is most likely to leave this season to Manchester City, as well as the departure of Yves Bissouma to Tottenham. I think these two departures could have a major impact on Brighton. The striker edition of Simon Adringra is a good player. However, I think he needs a little bit of time. Moses Caicedo is a fantastic player, and I do think he will perform this season and replace Yves Bissouma. I think he will have a breakout season this year. And up front, I think Dennis Unda will replace Neil Maupay very, very well. I think he can score some of the goals he did in the Jupiler Pro League to the Premier League. I think he could be potentially a very underrated signing, and you should put him in your FPL teams. 10th place, Aston Villa. Now, I'm not as hot as other people on Steven Gerrard. However, the recruitment has been fantastic once again. Diego Carlos at centre-back proves to be an inspired signing from Sevilla. I still wonder how they got him. They managed to get Phil Coutinho on a permanent deal, which is huge. I think he can have a big impact for them this season. And Boubacar Kamara is an exciting young talent in that defensive midfield and probably can change Villa's season. I think a solid mid-table finish for them. 9th place, Leicester City. Now, Leicester's defensive were an actual issue last season for them, and I think Wesley Fofana can help that next season. Kasper Schmeichel's shock departure could really affect them in goal, and as well as the fact that Yuri Tielemans looks to be on his way out to Arsenal, so that could be really bad. But let's see who Leicester are bringing in. Yep, that's right, absolutely no one. Brendan Rodgers, I predict, will be sacked before the end of the year. I think that this is a really bad season for Leicester. I think they will just manage to get themselves into mid-table. 8th place, Newcastle. Eddie Howe was fantastic last season. He got that team and turned it around completely by the end of the year, and I think he'll do it once again. fantastic, and Sven Botman will become an inspired signing for Newcastle. I think he will do absolutely bits for them. And in addition, Nick Pope's goalkeeping signing, I think he will do well for them as well. However, there's one injury to that midfield, and they're back to using Jonjo Shelvey, so I think they need to get a couple more players just for that squad depth in some positions. Otherwise, I think they will do good this season. 7th place, West Ham. Knife of Wales could be a good value, and although he's a bit overpriced, I think he is absolutely dangerous on those set piece. Now, I think Flynn Downs is a good backup player in that midfield. I think he can be a good squad piece. Whereas Alphonse Areola releasing the pressure off of Lucas Fabianski at this stage. However, the main signing is Gianluca Stamma. Now, I think this is huge as it finally provides an alternative to Mikel Antonio, and I think he fits West Ham's play style absolutely fantastically. It's all down to whether he can adapt to the Premier League in time. However, I think that David Moyes is such a good manager. I think he'll ease that so well. 6th place, Manchester United. Let's not lie, last season under Oli and Ralph Rangnick, it was an absolute disaster for Man United. And however, I think that this season will be much improved under Erik ten Hag. There seems to be much more of a playing style and much more of a culture change. I think that's a sign of a good manager. However, I think they still need a bit of time, and Tyrone Malacia is a good solid option at left back, as well as Lisandro Martinez is a good ball playing centre back with that warrior spirit that Man United have lacked in recent times. Christian Eriksen is a good squad piece in the midfield, and however, I think that Frenkie de Jong situation has really hampered Manchester United, as they have really wasted a lot of time on Frenkie de Jong. However, I think the main problem is Cristiano Ronaldo, and I think the fact that he is creating such an issue, whether he stays or whether he goes, whichever, I think it creates a certain uncertainty to the squad, and whether he stays or goes, I think this is really bad for Manchester United, so they need to get that solved quickly. 5th place is Chelsea. Now, I know a lot of people will be a bit outraged at this one, but I don't think Thomas Tuchel will have the impact. They've taken so many L's to Barcelona this year in the market. We're talking Dembele, Rafinha, Lewandowski and Koundé. They've taken so many L's, they haven't got the players they wanted, and they still lack a striker since Romelu Lukaku has walked out on them to Inter Milan this summer. And I think that is a huge issue for Chelsea, because they're not going to get the goals anywhere, and I think that's a huge problem. I predict Thomas Tuchel to be sacked before the turn of the year, and I think that will be pretty much certain, because I think Chelsea will need to get that change of manager, and I really think they will drop out of the top 4 this season. I think that's going to be really bad for Chelsea. 4th place, Arsenal, and I think that Arsenal, this process is finally being trusted. I think the transfer policy has been fantastic since last year, and I think the young players are going to finally move forward at the season and try and get Arsenal back into the Champions League. Gabi Jesus is going to be an absolute star for Arsenal, I think, and I think he's going to be a player of the season contender for Arsenal. I think he's going to be that much of an impact maker for Arsenal this season. Fabio Vieira is a good squad piece for Arsenal, as well as Alexander Zinchenko could play left back or central midfield, and in addition, Yuri Tielemans could be a good addition to that Arsenal team, and I think that will be really big for Arsenal. 3rd place is Tottenham. Now, Antonio Conte is a huge difference maker, and I think they completely backed him. Richarlison is a good backup to the forward positions. He's Super is a good option in the midfield. Jed Spence and even Perisic bring real good experience and youth to the wing back position, and Clement Lenglet is a good squad piece at centre back. In addition, I think Son will continue his fantastic form in this season, as well as Harry Kane finally stepping up and really driving Tottenham into that 3rd position. I think that Tottenham could make themselves contenders for the top 2. I think that's a bold position, but I think they could do it. 2nd position, Liverpool. Now, I think ultimately Liverpool have got too much change, and what they did last year was fantastic, but they fell short in the Champions League and in the Premier League, and I think with the loss of Sadio Mane to Bayern Munich, I don't think that's going to get any better anytime soon. I think that ultimately Liverpool are not going to be challenged this year. I think Darwin Núñez will be good this season. I think he will score some goals. However, I think this season will be more adaptation rather than actual impact. I think Mo Salah will have a great season, however, as he looks to rebound off of his bad season last year where he missed out on UCL, missed out on the Premier League, missed out on AFCON, and missed out on World Cup qualification, and I think he'll be fired up to perform this season. First place, Manchester City, and ultimately this is inevitable. Pep Guardiola has got it sorted, and ultimately Manchester City are inevitably going to win the Premier League this season. They've just added even more inevitability with Erling Haaland, and that's just more goals onto a team that's already spanking them in, week out. And in addition to this, they brought in more depth in midfield to replace Fernandinho and Calvin Phillips, which is a good deal for £40 million. I think that's a fantastic deal. Julian Alvarez up top replaces Raheem Sterling as a youthful option. I think that's a fantastic deal for them, as well as Marc Cucurella coming in at the left-back position to replace Zinchenko, which is a fantastic deal and the one they've needed for quite a while. Phil Foden is going to finally take the step up from young player of the season to one of the players of the season. And we can't forget the main man, Kevin De Bruyne, and he's just going to have a mental season this year, providing assists for Haaland. I think that Haaland and KDB will be the most prolific duo in the Premier League this season. But that is it for today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please like and subscribe as Neymar says on the screen right now. And I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.